Joshua, welcome back. We're excited to hear how the event went and so thrilled that you were able to do that. First, just tell us what the travel was like and getting there and where you went.
It was an amazing experience. We were in British Columbia. I was there for 3 days at the Defender Trophy. It was a wildly good time with a bunch of super cool people that are equally as Land Rover fanatical as I am. But yeah, I flew up to Vancouver and basically day one kind of rested, set up, and then day two was when the Defender Trophy really started.
Tell us about that first day of competition.
So everyone met early in the morning, 7:30, got a little bit of breakfast, and then we started off being transported out to the off-road site, which was about an hour and a half east of Vancouver, up in British Columbia by Mission, British Columbia. Very mountainous, forest terrain, a few lakes. It had just like sleeted and snowed 2 days before, so the ground was nice and wet, really prepared for the off-road. Once we got out there, we got an overview of the Defender Trophy from the Land Rover team. Really interesting. There was an overview of the car for some people that had never driven the 110 before. And then we had just really got thrown into it and started doing the challenges.
What kind of challenges did they have for you on the first day?
So basically the way that the first day went was we got paired off into smaller groups of about 8 people. And then from there was a schedule, and there were about a series of 6 different challenges that everyone had to complete within allotted time frames. And so we were moving rotationally around these more or less physical challenges, but also a lot of strategy challenges as well. First off, we did swimming. So swimming in a rather cold water for 10 minutes. I think that was kind of a safety thing, make sure everyone was good with the water. Then we did a super difficult ropes course. This isn't like I would say a kid-friendly one. It was high up and very challenging. About half of my team made it through. Then from there, we went on to do some like strategy games, working with a high lift jack, winching a car out of the mud, amongst other things. And then the harder part got into navigation. We were thrown into a forest with a compass and a waypoint, and we had to navigate in a group of 8 through the forest, no trails, no nothing, just kind of reading topographical maps and using a compass to get from point A to point B, which would give you your next coordinates to move onwards from there. So it was physically challenging, bushwhacking through the forest, but then also a lot of strategy of how to move a group of 8 using a compass to get from point A to point B.
What was the biggest surprise of day one?
The biggest surprise of day one really was how physical it was. There was after kind of towards the end of the day, there was I think it was a 2-mile run through the mountains with carrying, it was 5 liters of water, which really kind of pushed it. Everyone was pretty gassed that after doing everything all physical today to go run through and do that. But, you know, it was an awesome experience. And at the end of that, we had a dinner, and everyone was in tents for the night. And it was a beautiful location, kind of set back in the mountains amongst the forest, overlooking a lake. And it was pretty amazing.
Now tell us about day 2. What was that like?
Day 2 was definitely more driving oriented. So there were a series of time trials where we were taking the Defender and going through either off-road tracks or gates. For example, one of the challenges was there was a map with different gates that you had to go in at a certain direction and then go do them in order. And that was a great opportunity because you're really pushing the Land Rover hard and fast on that one, through mud, through sand, to get through the different gates within the certain time frame that was allotted. There was another one where it was backing up a trailer through a course and loading the trailer and unloading it. There was another great one where we made a tripod out of logs using knots, and then built a pulley system to basically pulley up a tire from the water, take the Defender, put it on to lift it up, change out the tire, put the tire back on, bring it back, put everything back, and break down the tripod all within a certain amount of time. And then of course there's just a pure off-road course, which was one of my favorite things. It was a lot of fun to do.
So you're a Defender 110 owner, so you're familiar, but how did the ones you were driving for the competition perform?
They performed great. So we were in the Defender Trophy, and the yellow and green. They were all matte finished. They looked really beautiful. They were fully kitted out with all the, the racks, the lights, winches, and things like that. They were a blast to drive. Same engine as the one I have in mind. So it was a familiar platform to be on. But, it just, the way that performed was magnificent. I mean, it's a unbelievable car, and, putting it through its paces, especially when it's not yours, is a lot of fun to do. So we were rock crawling one night up and down trails that were pretty gnarly. And it's just amazing, all the technology on the car, that how it can perform and sense the terrain. And, between driving an old Land Rover and a new one, that can do a lot of the same stuff. The new one does it so much easier because of all the technology that's in it. So it's you can be more present in the driving experience as opposed to thinking about how you're going to get the truck over an obstacle.
Those cameras help a little bit too.
The cameras definitely help a lot. It's almost like cheating.
What would you say between the 2 days was the single hardest challenge?
The single hardest challenge for me was carrying the 5 liters of water up and down the mountain running, especially after a full physical act day. I wear a Garmin, and by that point of the day, I had burned 4,000 calories, and the following day I burned 4,000 calories. So I got to eat whatever I wanted when I was finished.
So at the end, any regrets?
I don't have any regrets. I gave it 110% of everything I had, and it was an amazing experience. I've met people that I think I'll be friends with for the rest of my life. A lot of great people out there that have done amazing things with their trucks, and it was just a wonderful experience. And what Land Rover put on, I think, is, the beginning of the next stage that's going to go on. I think Defender Trophy this was the inaugural Defender Trophy event. It'll go on for years and years. And I think that the outcome of what it will be was really showing what the car is truly capable of. And I really like the thought process. I had a conversation with Rory, the president of Land Rover Canada, about how Land Rover works with conservation and getting people out to see, the wilderness and the wild. And this is a thing that can get you out there to do it. Really hit home with me. It's like I said in my pre-interview, it's just like the car is so amazing to get you out there to go experience everything. And I think that Defender Trophy will leave that legacy as it moves forward.
What advice would you give for someone thinking about applying for next year's competition?
Do it for sure. I think I'm going to apply again. Watch the Defender Trophy this year to get an idea of what it is. There's a lot of stuff being posted online now about the whole event. Be in really good physical shape, but I think more than anything, I think it's just being your authentic self. You're not really there to compete with the other people. You're there to just really, be who you are, and enjoy the machine and do the best that you can within that. It's definitely a team environment, but yeah, I would definitely do a lot of cardio and a lot of working out, and maybe brush up on your camping skills.
How long did you sleep when you got home to Kansas City?
Oh my God. I literally slept, I think, for 14 hours when I got home. It was a well-deserved rest. My whole body was, being 46, I think I'm in good shape, but my whole body was pretty tired and achy. And so a couple Tylenol, and I racked out for about 14 hours. And I've now been back for about, 2 days, and I'm getting back to normal and feeling good, but it was definitely a hot tub and Tylenol. You know what I'm really looking forward to is September 26th. I'm going to be out there at the Kansas Rock Parks, and I hope all the Land Rover Kansas City people are out there as well. I'd love to talk about the Defender Trophy event. I'd love to meet more people in doing it, and more than anything, I'd love to go push these cars to the trails and have a great time.
Well, congratulations on completing and having such an amazing time. We're glad we could support you in that. Yeah. Thanks for joining us for this interview.
Yeah, thanks so much for everything, and thanks to Land Rover for putting on this event. And thanks to Land Rover Kansas City for sponsoring for it.